Hey guys, Long Haul Larry, and it is time to get on this lawnmower thing and get this lawnmower running. A couple side notes. Brace, yeah, I know. Yep, sometimes I don't wear it. I'm trying not to wear it as much as possible. Sometimes I got to put it on. The brace is actually kind of a, how do I want to order it? It's kind of a clutch that supports my back and everything, and I need to build back muscle. The bones are all healed up and stuff at this point. They're there as long as I don't do something real stupid. The brace is there for basically support. Well, if I wear my brace all the time, I basically will not be building any muscle in my back. So I try to wear the brace on and off and stuff. And when I start getting sore or something like that, then I'll put it on and I try to not wear it for a few hours. So, yep, I appreciate everybody saying it. I think it's looking good, and it wasn't wearing brace here and there and stuff. Yep, I try not to here and there. Another side note, I'm going to attach a link down in the video description of this video. The link, I know that some people have an issue trying to find the video description. It is down when you're looking at my video on a computer, an iPad, or phone, whatever. Down in the lower right corner of the picture, you're going to see the title of the video. And right at the end of the title, there's like a little down arrow. It's just a little, it's not really an arrow. It's just kind of a pointy thing, but doesn't have the little arrow center part. Tap that, and that will bring up my video description, and it will describe what the video is about, and there's links in there and stuff. I'm going to be including a video description, and it is for my book publisher. His wife has passed away, and it was very sad. She was actually a fan of mine. She wasn't a subscriber. She was a fan, and she was very always bubbly and stuff, and she worked really hard with me on my book, and she did a lot of the different things. The whole cover and all that stuff, she designed all that. She's really good at that stuff, and I met her a few times, and she was always just so joyous and everything. And he ended up losing, they lost a battle there, and she ended up passing away. So I will put a link to her obituary, and you guys can read about that or something like that. Maybe there's some place where you guys can leave comments. I know there's been a lot of subscribers that have had book ideas, and I know that some of you guys have passed those on to him. I don't really know what else all happened with those and stuff, but he is a super, super nice people. They were, and he's in a lot of hurt right now, so you guys can check that out. So, on a better note, we got the lawnmower, and I think there's going to be a name. Maybe that'll be a final review. But yesterday, Mr. FedEx showed up with a whole semi. I was surprised that a semi came to deliver this, but it was a 48-foot semi. And he called me and told me he was coming on the road, and he came in here and delivered this. And here it is. It is a Kohler 26 horsepower vertical shaft. It's a 7000 series. It's brand new, it said on eBay. I have just opened a box. I can't pull it out right now. But there's a lot of dust on it. I think what the deal is that maybe somebody, because I think this guy, he has sold like 42 of these. So I think maybe he had them maybe he owns a lawnmower place or something, and he had a whole bunch of these. I don't know. But it's real dusty and stuff, but it looks like it's new. We'll see. I need to pull it out and kind of inspect it and stuff before we go too far, but we are going to try to install that motor into there. It's not the right motor, but I think it's going to work. We'll find out. And another thing with it, as you guys saw the lawnmower deck, I got that all cleaned up and everything. Well, look at that. Got the snowblower. It's all been cleaned up. It's all been painted. All the rust is gone. Got my teeth on there. Nom, nom, nom. It's going to eat snow. And look at this. I even put the Larry LED lights from Amazon on there. I'm going to put those on there. I haven't finished wired them. But I'm just going to put a wire over there attached to that one. Running up with that pole to where it ends right up by the headlights on the hood of the tractor. And just put a prong up there, a little 2-prong plug. And that way you can unplug it. For in the summertime, you just unplug it. But it'd be kind of nice because a lot of times we will drive up here, maybe to come up snowmobiling or something, and a lot of times it's like 8, 9 o'clock when we finally get up here. It's a long drive, and it snowed a whole bunch. You can't even get in the driveway. This way we got LED lights, and we'll just flip the lights on, and boom, light up the neighborhood, light up the world. There you go. So now my daughter's sitting over there, she's bored and she's frustrated. She's like, let's do some more. I'm like, settle down. But we need to get this motor out. I can't lift it. And I don't think she should be lifting this either. She probably could, but I don't think she should be. So we're going to use the hoist back up there that I got on the rafters and use the come along. We're going to have to push the lawnmower out of the way. I've drained all the old gas out of the lawnmower. It had a pretty good rancid smell to it, so it's been there for a while. So I've drained all the old gas out. And we're going to push the lawnmower out of the way and use the cart, and she can put the motor right underneath the hoist. And then we'll use the come along and lift it up out of the box. Take a bigger peek at it. Go ahead.
Oh, I forgot to hold it.
Yeah. When you push up, there you go. Then hold it as it comes down.
I keep doing that.
There you go. Okay. That one in. Give me 1 second. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. You're almost there. Keep going. Yay!
Did it.
All right, guys, back on this motor. It is actually the next morning, and me and my daughter have gotten this motor in here. We got the new motor in. We got the pulleys put on the bottom. We got it bolted in and everything. All the bolt holes lined up. The pulley is the right length. We got it bolted in there. I had to tap out the holes in the block because they're not tapped. They usually do that with Kohler motors. They don't tap the mounting holes so that whatever company lawnmower for the tractor part that the motor's going to, some of them use different bolts, and so they don't tap them. And I just use the screws. They're kind of a self-tapping thing. They just run them in with an impact, just like what they do when they actually put these motors together. A lot of the oil pan bolts and stuff, they're not actually tapped either. And on the line, you just had a gun that had a certain torque, and they just run them in, just taps them as the bolt's going. I just got really upset. I'm gonna have to pull this motor back out. It's leaking oil. I'm gonna have to go underneath there and look. I'm thinking at the seal underneath, because this motor has probably been sitting in a warehouse for a while or something. And I just saw there's oil dripping underneath. I just filled it with oil, and I can see oil leaking underneath. So that means probably the seal is leaking. That just upset me a little bit. Brand new motor, but gotta do what you gotta do. But the wire harness is different. Trying to refocus myself here. The wire harness was different on here. And the one thing about it is it says that it has a smart carb. It doesn't actually have a cable that goes to any kind of linkage that chokes this deal. It says it has a smart carb, and I decided to pull it out because I looked at the wires, and the wires in the plugs are the same plugs, but the wires were in different location. And so I thought, well, we'll pull the cover off, and I could track the wires and compare it to the old ones, see where they go to, make sure the wires they're actually the same color wiring and everything. It just has this extra wire right here that goes over to an oil pressure sensor, I'm thinking. And then that comes back up with some other wires, and it goes to this here little box. And I think this is the smart card. And it has this linkage on here too for this little flapper thing. And this opens it up and takes the choke off. I think what happens, this is just my thought, I don't really know, to tell you the truth. But you got the fins on the flywheel here, and I think that it's choked. When it turns the key on, the little sensor chokes it, and then it closes and chokes it, and then when the engine fires up, this starts spinning. Well, this is your fan for your engine to keep everything cool. And when it spins, it throws air out underneath the shroud, and this sits underneath there, and it's kind of like a little flapper, and I think the air goes against it when the engine is running and pushes it open, and that takes the choke off. So, kind of a flimsy thing, but I don't know. It says it's smart, so maybe it's smarter than me. But, yeah, I definitely got an oil leak on the bottom, so I'm going to have to look underneath there and see. It's probably coming out the oil seal on the bottom of the engine. The engine was all covered with dust. It looks brand new and stuff, but I think it's been sitting in a warehouse for a while. And I guess maybe the oil seal has dried out. So I'm probably going to have to order a new oil seal for this thing. Pull the engine out, pop the oil seal off, put a new oil seal in the bottom undercarriage. That's what it looks like. That's the only place it could leak, I would think. But I'm going to actually put this back together. Just the carburetor parts here. And I think I might actually try to fire it up and see if it'll fire up. I have done the wiring on it. And what I did is the starter that came with this motor is right here. It's a brand new starter, but it has no starter relay on it. And so what that means is that this is for a zero-turn lawnmower. I think it was a Husqvarna or something. And it probably had a starter relay someplace else located on the thing, and then it had a wire going to that, and then the main power wire going to this nut here that would power engage the starter. I don't have a separate starter relay. I could go buy one and wire it up like that, but I actually took the starter off of the old engine, and it's the same exact mounts and everything, and it fit right into there, and the starter relay's right on here. And then what I did is I just cut the wire harness instead of trying to move pins around and stuff, because it just, once you do those things, it kind of, but I took the old I'm frustrated about that oil leak. I cut the old one off, and I just wired up the wires the same here. And I have already done this, but it's at 100% now. Got the battery charger going on there. But if you turn the key on, so now the key is on, and I checked it. Here's the engage for the little electric clutch underneath. You can hear that engage, so that's working. And you can also hear the hour meter ticking. But if you turn a key, it turns over. So the next test is going to be, I added oil to it, as you know from my frustration that there's an oil leak. I'm going to put the carburetor back together, put the nuts on there, and just put that up there the way it is. Dump some gas into it. And I'm going to turn it over a little bit and see if she'll fire and run. If it doesn't run, then it could be that oil pressure deal underneath there with the wiring. And if that's the case, I can just unplug it, see if it runs there. If it doesn't, then that means it's a closed circuit sensor. Then I'll have to make a pigtail to bypass that, because this tractor has no hookups for that. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and try to see where the oil leak's coming from too. All right, we got some oil in it, but it's got an oil leak. I got to figure that out. But I can at least start it. I got some gas dumped in. I got the carburetor back together. Wiring is temporarily together. Let's just see if she starts. It's probably gonna take a bit of cranking because there's no fuel. I drained all the fuel out of the fuel lines. See what happens. Why?
Why is there someone's exhausting this one?
Because that choke is on. Because the cover, that's what when it started up, it started to die again. It's that choke because that lever wasn't. It was like going it was jumping around, but it's exactly the way I thought. When the engine starts and the RPM goes up, the wind blows that thing open, turns the choke off, so that it runs. That's why I reached up and I pushed it forward, and then it ran better. But it was a smoke because it was all, you know. That is just awesome sauce. So now I just got to figure out the oil leak. But that is awesome.
You did it.
I had somebody say in the comments, I think on a show the tractor, they're like, it's pretty funny that you spend so much money on toys and junk, but you buy old stuff that doesn't work. Well, my toys and stuff, I got the side-by-side. I've never really had a new machine, to tell you the truth. And so I decided, and the price was so good on them, I decided to buy a new one. And get the warranty and everything, and I decided to try to do it. And I did it, and I was happy. I'm happy with it. Nice machine. Snowmobiles and stuff, they're all older. I've always bought them used. I don't mind buying brand new, whatever. Snowbike's older. It's a 2015. I want a new one because then I have electric start. But stuff like this, I can fix it. I have the technology. I can fix it. And guess what? It was just a couple $100 for the lawnmower snowblower attachment. I got this motor and I retrofitted it, made it work, and it was like $850. And shipped to the door. I have rigged it up. I got to figure out what the leak is on it, but I think that's not a big deal. I'll fix it. So in this whole thing, what do I got? I got just over $1,000 in this lawnmower with a 45 or 48 inch snowblower attachment onto it. If you were to go out and buy this brand new, you're talking probably $6,000, $7,000, maybe even more. So yeah, I'm good. I got all the new belts on there, stuff and everything else. I just got to figure out the oil leak. But I'm going to put the cover back on it and fire it up again and see if that choke turns off like I think it's going to. Well, guys, I got the cover back on and I'm about to retest it. Fire it up and see if that choke thing works. Shuts the choke off and the engine run. But I just got some awesome news. I looked underneath there and the seal didn't look like it was leaking. And I was like, man, what happened? I'm like, maybe when I tapped those bolts in there and ran them in with the impact, that I cracked the oil pan or something. I was kind of getting upset. And I was over here and I was just got the cover on, I was gonna fire it up, and I just kind of glanced down. It's real dark in here, sorry about it too. Our power just went out. But I looked underneath and the little oil drain thing is leaking. And that's where it's coming from. It's coming out of there. So I just gotta tighten that up. If the choke shuts off like it's supposed to. It says it's a smart choke, so let's see if it's smart. Oh. Now we got some rain finally, and rained pretty good. It wasn't really windy, no lightning or nothing, and the power just shut off. So I'm actually going to video this on my phone too, because Tracy's gone. And she will be very excited if this thing is running, so we're gonna do a video on here too. So let's see if the beast will run, huh? So now I just gotta pigtail all these wires together. I gotta put, heat shrink on there and stuff, and zip tie all the wires up so it's all good and everything. And I gotta fix that oil drain. It's just leaking a little drip, and there's like a plug. The engine actually came with a different one. It actually came with this one here, and it screws in there, and then you just take this and undo it, and you put like a hose on there when you drain the oil, and then that way doesn't go all over. It was on the other side of the engine, but when I put the engine in there, it wouldn't sit level. It was kind of moving around, and this was out too far. It was actually hitting the frame, so I took this off, and on the old motor, it had this small little gold drain plug, same exact thing. But I pulled that off the old motor because this one has the cutout for that to sit in. And I was gonna put this one in, but it's too long. It still hits out here in this frame. So I ended up putting that one in there, but it seems to be just dripping out of it. I'm going to see if I can tighten the little, you just put a little 7/16 on there, and that's supposed to thread out of it and let the oil drain. I'm just gonna put, I'm gonna see if I can tighten it a little bit, see if that stops drip. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to pull it out and put a plug in it. Something. We'll figure it out. Alright guys, we are back together. We got the hood all on. I did have to take that cover shroud that came with this motor. I don't know if you guys can even see this dark. But there was like a cover shroud that snapped on the top of here, so you can't touch this spinny doohickey there on top of the flywheel. But when you close the hood, this has this lip here to keep air being sucked in from here into the engine, so it doesn't do grass. And when you closed it, it actually hit. So I popped that off, and now it sits right on top of the motor, so it's gonna work as it should. But it is in there. You guys saw it running. Fixed the stupid little oil leak. Just had to tighten the oil drain up. And I got the wires all loomed. Everything is all zip tied up nice and tight. And we got this side. We got the wiring all taken care of, all heat shrinked and loomed up and zip tied, so everything that's good. So she closes up nice and good. All perfect. But one thing I wanted to show you guys is a little trick we just figured out. Because I wanted to check the hydrostatic fluid in the rear end, in the transmission, I guess you call it. And it's got this big plate that's right here on the back of there. Well, there is only a fill plug. And I looked online, and it said that you're supposed to pull the fill plug, and it's got to be within 1 inch of the fill plug. And that's the correct level. And guess what? The fill plug is behind that plate. You cannot get to it. And so I kind of told my daughter while I was working on wiring and everything else, I says, well, got to take that back plate off. That's the hitch. So she's been back here fighting and fighting to get these bolts that haven't been off since 2005. And she got all the bolts loosened. But then we couldn't take one bolt out because of the shift linkage is right behind the bolt. So then we'd have to remove all the shift linkage just to get this little back plate off. So then I did a reevaluation of the situation, and I came up with a plan. So then I told her we got to put all the bolts back in. She was very happy about that. So then she got to put all the bolts right back in. And what I ended up doing is I used a hole saw out of my Milwaukee hole saw kit, and I drilled a hole right with the fill plug. The fill plug is right inside there. I got it. And the fill plug is right in. You can kind of see it there, that small little brass thing in there and the hole inside of it. Well, that is a Allen head. It's for an Allen wrench. It is a 5mm Allen wrench that fits inside there. And so you just stick it inside there like that, and then I just use the vice grips on the Allen deal here, get more leverage, and crank it open. And then I needed to try to see where the level was. Well, it's all up inside here, wasn't gonna be able to see, so I put it to my daughter, and she came up with an idea of a zip tie. We just bent it down like that, and I fished it down through there and put it so it's even with the thing, brought it back up, and it was about a 1/4 inch to maybe 3/8 away from the bend. So it's about 3/8 inches away from the fill plug. So it's perfect level, but I just wanted to check it and make sure that the fluid was correct level. And so now we have a way to check the hydrostatic transmission in here, the fluid, or add some or whatever, and we don't have to take anything apart. we can just go through there, use the Allen wrench, and then just put a tube down through there with a funnel. Awesome sauce. All right, guys. We got the snowblower attachment on. Hit it. There it is. Give her a little gas. No, gas. There she goes. But now, turn that off. No, not the machine. Turn the auger off. There you go. Start it up. Start it up. Alright, but now watch this final thing here. You guys ready? Ho, 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 look at that. Woo! We got LEDs. Alrighty, well, now the mower deck. Well, guys, I got an issue. We used this come along here, picked the front end of it up. We just picked it up, and then we could just roll the deck underneath there, and it worked out great. And lowered it down. I've never had the deck on. I got it, the snowblower unit was on, but the deck was just sitting on the side. And the guy that we bought it from, he had like a small engine repair shop, I guess. And he just threw the deck on a trailer for Tracy. And we slid the deck underneath there, and it's got some pivot points underneath that attach. And I see how that goes, and I'm like, okay, how does the front of the deck attach to the lawnmower? And I laid underneath there and looked, trying to figure it out. And I was confused. I am like, I don't see how this connects up to the front of the tractor. And so I actually went online and stuff and did a whole bunch of research and stuff, and we're missing a part. Kind of a crucial part. It's like a whole plate that gets mounted to the front of the deck. There's two pivot point mounts or whatever, two holes where pins go in. And then I guess it mounts up to the bottom of that whole plate down there. Down bottom of there, there's a thing, and they're kind of like a threaded rod deal. And it's like a whole flat plate that attaches on, and it has threaded rod deals with these little deals that screw in and out. And then they go through those holes, and then a pin holds it. We don't have that. And I've actually gone online, and I have looked, and I found one on eBay, and it says it's for a 46-inch deck. This is a 54. I'm not really sure if it's going to fit or not. It's the only one I could seem to find. We've contacted the guy that we bought this from, sent him a message, told him that we were missing this piece, and he said he would look for it. We're waiting to hear back from him. So we cannot use this right now. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to attach the deck in the back to get it where it's supposed to be, push it back as far as I can, and then I'm going to make a drawing and measure and stuff and make measurements and everything of what I need, and to mount this. And I'm actually going to be leaving here today to the Uper house, and I'm heading down by Tracy's place for this next week. And I got to do some things medically wise and other things. And then her daughter's wedding is next weekend. And then after that, we may take a cruise down to the farm. And then come back up here like a day or so later. So when I'm down at the farm, then I may whip out the welder and stuff like that and try to make a bracket that will fit the front of this. But I'm going to order, I think, the other one. It's only $34. The guy wants for it on eBay. So I think I'm just going to order it and compare it to my measurements I'm going to make here. And see if it'll fit. If it does, great. If the guy can find the other one that's supposed to be on here, great. If they don't, then I'm going to have to do the long haul everything and make something from scratch. Make my own, I guess. Either way, I'll get it next time we come up here. I should be back up here in like a week and a half. And when I get up here and stuff, then I should have something that'll fit up, and I can just pop it in there and hook it up. So it kind of sucks because did a lot of work to it. The lawnmower is running great. Everything is working properly. We've gone through and checked everything. Everything is greased. Everything is ready to roll. Except for that. So it's just one little thing that's holding it back. But this motor on here is running awesome. I mean, it's a perfect fit. It actually astonished me. We got her in there, and all the wiring and stuff. You guys know I hate wiring. But it fits right in there, and this motor runs awesome. It sounds great. But you guys know that I don't like wiring stuff, and I actually looked at it, made a whole drawing. Me and my daughter sat out here and looking at plugs and comparing wiring where it goes to, and did all this. And I actually went to bed, thought about it all night long, I guess. Got up the next day, and then I decided to try to do some splicing, and I did that and cut wire harnesses and just kind of pigtail them together, and I gave her a chance. You guys got to see that in the video, and she fired right up and ran. So everything is good. Everything is working properly. I just need that piece. I am missing one piece on there to complete this lawnmower. And we got the snowblower unit. I actually got it back in the woods, sitting back there by my snowmobile, so it's out of the way of everything. And that's ready, so when the snow comes, we're going to be prepared. So there we go. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope that everybody out there is having themselves a great evening, great day, whatever it is when you're watching this here video. If you're not, you can always try it again tomorrow. Daughter wants to do projects. She's very impatient. She doesn't know how to live like a youper. She doesn't know just chill. But in retrospect, whenever they've come up here in the past when I was fixing a house, it was like, go, 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 go. But now with this injury thing, I kind of just like, take it slow. So she's been, let's do this, let's do this. And I've been having to hold her back.
You just need more, Dad.
Yeah. So this is all the wood for building cabinets. And she says, let's do this. Which is a good idea. I wanted to get the concrete floor done. It's all there. The lawnmower and stuff just took a little bit more time than we thought. But we can knock that out. Tracy will just have to be Little Miss Concrete. She'll have to figure it out. It's not a big deal. I can't lift the bags to dump them into the concrete mixer. So that's what Tracy's going to have to do. And also my sister is coming up here. She actually comments on videos and stuff my sister does and everything. She watches my videos. And and she's going to be moving. Where she's moving to?
Columbia?
No, not Columbia. Portugal. All right, my sister, she's contacted me. She's moving to Portugal, I think. It's not Colombia. She's not becoming part of the cartel. I think it's Portugal. I put out a video back a while ago looking for housing and stuff like that. My sister and her husband are deciding to move to Portugal. They've always wanted to do it. They're going to go there and give it a little test run and see what's happening. But they decided that they're going to leave. They live out in Oregon, and they're going to leave, and they're going to come back here and hang out here for like a month or so until the visas and all this stuff, I guess, get in line. And she said, we are so excited. We want to come up by you, and looks like such fun working on all of this stuff. We want a project list. I was like, okay. So they're going to come up here, I guess, and spend some time, and they want to do a bunch of projects. They were like, let's reside the house. And I'm like, no. Long haul Larry doesn't have that in him. So I'll put together a bunch of projects and stuff, maybe when they come up. I think they're going to be coming up pretty close when I get back up here. Maybe they can help me with concrete. Residing the house, that's just too much. I can't take that on right now, because if they don't finish it in their time, then I got a house that's sitting open to the elements, and wintertime is coming. So that's not an option. But then she was talking about, hey, you were saying something about a front deck and stuff. You were talking about building that. Well, I can always come up with something for somebody to do. So the best thing to do is to get rid of all this plywood. So we're going to cut all this stuff up and try to make some cabinets. So there you go. So lawnmower, 99.999% done. Just missing a bracket. So catch you guys later. Bye.